Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us this Saturday morning. It's very pleasant here in Toronto. Pleasant, at least from the Canadian standards. It's really cold, but we are looking forward to good days ahead in terms of getting rid of the virus, and also exciting news in immigration industry. My name is Amir Ismail. I am an authorized Canadian citizenship and immigration representative based out of Toronto. I'm a member in good standing with the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council and the Canadian Association of Professional Immigration Consultants. And as advised in our last broadcast, we are celebrating our 30th year in immigration industry. And we have some exciting immigration packages for you guys as well. So feel free to get in touch with our team to learn more about those. And we are also encouraging people to consider booking online consultation in view of the severity of the virus. So you can consider meeting with our team online as well. As usual, we will be sharing new immigration updates that happened between our last broadcast on 9th of January and now. And we will also take your live questions and try to respond to them. Okay. We will also have a special guest joining us today in the second half of the program. His name is Mr. Azad, and he is one of the banking professionals based in Kitchener, Ontario. So that part you might be interested in attending, because Mr. Azad will be guiding you in terms of improving your prospects in the banking industry in Canada. Or if you want to switch your career to banking, he would be guiding you about the additional courses that you might be able to do even online. So that is going to be a very good presentation, very interesting one if you are interested in knowing your way through the banking industry. So that would be it. Let me introduce you my team. As usual, we have Mr. Naman Khwaja joining us from Karachi. How are you, Naman sir?
I'm fine, Amir Saab. How are you? How's the weather? Everything?
Everything is perfect. Also joining us for the first time from Lahore, our colleague, Mr. Hassan Nadeem. Very warm welcome, Hassan.
Thank you, Mr. Amir. Pleasure to be here. Welcome, everyone.
Very much. Joining us all the way from the capital city of Ottawa is our colleague, Guli.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all again.
Great, Guli. Guli is formerly trained in immigration laws and procedures, and she would be presenting today a topic that is very interesting. And the topic is about the composition of express entry pool and the prospects of people who have less than 470 ranking points. So she is going to provide her insights into it, and you will love that presentation. Also joining us, very important team member, we have Priya joining us from Lahore. She is currently visiting Lahore and very instrumental in coordinating and arranging our consultation from the city of Lahore. How are you, Priya?
Hi, everyone.
Okay,
I'm good.
good.
How are you?
Very nice, Priya. I believe you have again gathered a lot of questions from Lahore, and we'll try to answer all those, and that might be useful for our audience as well, because they might have similar questions. So we'll do that later today. Going ahead, I'll just share with you guys a few of the updates we have. Number one update is that we have a supplementary mandate letter coming from the Minister of Immigration and coming to the Minister of Immigration, rather, because the Prime Minister is the concerned party that issues mandate letters to people in their cabinet. And of course, immigration is no exception. And the supplementary letter came, of course, in view of reiterating and reassuring that the Minister of Immigration remains focused on the priorities that have been set. And our colleague, Naman Khwaja, is going to speak about it in detail later in this presentation. So you would also know as to what the Canadian Immigration Department is thinking about the changes and in terms of priority in 2021 and beyond. So we're going to talk about that. In the meantime, since the last time we spoke to you, there have been few updates. We have seen that the provinces have continued inviting the immigration candidates for provincial nomination. And we know that if a province nominates you, you can get 600 additional points. And those 600 additional points can, in fact, see you through in next express entry draw. We understand that the express entry draws the pass rank has been hovering around 460 to 470 in recent times, but people who have lower CRS, they can really benefit from them. So Saskatchewan had issued their first invitations for the year. In their first 2021 PNP draw, they invited 385 candidates. So these lucky people, of course, are now in a position to or can hope to get an invitation to apply, and then they can proceed to submit their application for permanent residence. Similarly, Ontario is also following suit, and they issued a new skilled trade and French-speaking skilled worker invitations recently. Ontario has been very active in 2020, and they invited several technical people, especially in the IT sector, and also other professionals. The other update is about the parent sponsorship. Canada has completed the process of sending out invitations. So if you have not received an invitation, that means you might be receiving the news that you may have not been selected. So there is no disappointment. There should not be any disappointment, because the next intake will be for 30,000 parents and grandparents application. This year it was 10,000. So if you have not been selected, the chances are that you will have your chance next time around. Manitoba also has been very active. It's the province adjacent to our province, Ontario, and it had issued 272 invitations in its first PNP draw. So we did indicate in our last broadcast that provinces will play a very vital role, especially in view of the increased quota. Provinces will have access to more quota as well. In the month of November, we have received the update because these updates come later on. So we understand that the November 2020 data is available, where Canada has invited has welcomed 15,000 immigrants. So we are seeing a downward trend in terms of welcoming immigrants because of the obvious reason. But there is an opportunity in disguise, because then in coming days and months, we can see larger draws, bigger draws, and that might be happening more frequently, right? So these are the updates at my end. I'm going to invite Guli to talk about the composition of express entry pool, as she has researched about it, and let us know what can we expect moving forward. Guli, the stage is yours.
Hi again, everyone. So I'll be giving a little bit of information about the express entry pool composition and answering some of the interesting questions that people have. So as of January 4th, 2021, there were 146,495 applicants in the express entry pool. There has been some draws, and I will give a little bit of information about that. So on January 7th, 2021, the IRCC did a draw for Canadian Experience class applicants, and they issued 4,750 invitations to apply. And the lowest CRS score of the ranked candidates was around 461. And on January 6, 2021, the IRCC issued the provincial nominee program applicants an invitation to apply for them. And the number of invitations that was issued was 250. And the lowest score for the CRS score for that was 813 from the draw that happened. And going forward, It was a good start for the express entry draws, as 2021 started out with issuing invitations to apply for applicants with provincial nominations, Canadian experience class, and they should be issuing invitations to apply for federal skilled worker programs and federal skilled trades class program too. So as we mentioned before, latest draw took place for 4,750 people. If we go through the distribution of the scores, so here you can see a table of the CRS score range, and I've just highlighted a few scores that make up the majority of the pool. So around 451 to 500 score range, there are around 17% of people, which is 24,466 people as of January 4th. The majority of the pool contains of people who have a score range from 401 to 450. That's around 31% of the pool. And to be more specific, the number of candidates are 45,538. Going forward, the score range, which is 351 to 400, if we just go back to the slide, that's around 32% of people, which is close to 48,000 people who might have potential chances of getting a PMP, but obviously, as we know, those scores are not very high from the trends that we've been seeing. So here there's an infograph that we can see of the numbers that I mentioned. So the majority here lies on the 401 to 450 CRS score range. And again, that's 45,000 people. And yeah. So what are the trends that are happening in the express entry pool? So around 5,000 invitations to apply are being issued every 2 weeks. Applicants with a CRS score of 450 and above can be expected to be selected from the pool around March or April. So this is a really good chance to put your application into the pool, as the chances of being selected are pretty high. And we are expecting to see invitations to be sent out for applicants under Federal Skilled Work Program and the FSTC class very soon. And when will we see the CRS scores dropping? So if the trend that's going on right now continues, we expect that candidates with a score of 400 and above may expect to get selected approximately between January 6, 2021 and March 4th, 2021.
Okay, so that's a good presentation. Very good number crunching, Anguli. So as you have indicated that there are, I go back to the slide here. What we are looking for is right now 451 to 500. It's a very big range basically, and it doesn't really give a lot of information to people because there are a lot of people who are between 450 and 500. But if we break it down a little bit more, and if we see that 471 to 480 are only 0.8%, and because it's a little older data, we are talking about January 4th, there might be people who might have already submitted their applications. We don't have that information, but it may not have increased that much. That also means that we are looking at somewhere around 8.8% of people, or who are between 471 to 480, and these will be covered very soon because we have around 146,000 applicants. 10,000 of those have already been selected. So we minus those, and we then, of course, add few or more which have been submitted after January the 4th. We are still looking at pretty much same figures, basically. And if we talk about, as you have rightly mentioned, that if we talk about every draw happening with 5,000 people being selected from the pool, we are really looking at this information here, where which might be of interest to people, 461 to 470. This is a very important figure because there are 7.3% people in it. So we can expect that these people, at least these 7.3% of people, can expect an invitation to apply sooner rather than later. So this is a good option, or good news for people. And I think they should be working on their profiles as soon as possible. Having said that, If you have lesser points, you don't have to be discouraged because you do have other options available in the form of PNP. PNP is not a guarantee, but still it does stand a very good chance for a lot of people, and you get 600 extra points. So it is really worth it to consider creating your express entry profile and approaching provinces. So thank you very much for the presentation, Guli. Moving forward, we would be talking about we would, of course, need to acknowledge people who are with us today, and we will try to answer some questions. But before we do so, as Faria is in Lahore right now, she has gathered some questions that we would like to attend, and we'll try to provide our 2 cents in it. And then I believe Hassan also has a few questions to ask. So let's start with Faria first.
Okay, hello. So the very first question that I'm coming across with is if someone has low CRS score, should they still consider entering the express entry pool?
Okay, so it's a good question, and I tried to address that right now a few moments ago, that if you have low CRS, the situation might seem grim for you because you can see that the trend is the CRS score hovering around 460 to 470, and it appears that you might not get an invitation to apply at all. But the thing is, first off, the trend is going to be downward. It is our prediction. Of course, it will depend on other factors as well. But as of today, our prediction is that the score is going to slide down. So it makes sense that if you are at 460, for example, it makes a lot of sense to be in the pool. Secondly, even if you have very low score, it makes sense to be in the pool because you can then target the provincial nomination option. Provincial nomination in most of the provinces, if not all, depends on your availability in the express entry pool. And people remain confused between express entry and PNP. They think that express entry is a program, which is not the case. PNP is a program, of course, but express entry is a file management system. You have a file management system where you create your profile, you make yourself available, and then you're available for the federal government to select you under the federal program for which the CRS is high. But then you also make yourself available through the same express entry profile to various provinces. And you approach the provinces in 2 ways. One is that you create an additional profile with those provinces because that is the requirement of some provinces. Some provinces want you to create an additional profile in addition to the express entry profile. So you do that. Some provinces do not want you to approach them. They enter the express entry pool, explore the express entry pool on their own. So don't really have to do anything. You might get selected by those provinces without you doing anything. For example, Ontario, Alberta, Nova Scotia. These provinces do not require you to approach them. They have their draws. They select people according to their labor market needs, and they select people. Sometimes, of course, they also need to look at your CRS score. For example, Ontario usually selects people with high CRS, and people who have lower CRS, they usually don't stand a chance unless you are in a technical occupation. They have tech draws for those. But other provinces, like Alberta, has been able to select people even at 300 CRS. That means with these 300 CRS, someone gets 600 extra points, gets to 900. And then when you have 900 points, in the next express entry draw, the chances are that you are going to be invited because the next draw could be 470, 480, 500, 700, 800. You have 900. So, the chances are that you're going to get selected. So it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, let's have your next question for you.
Sure. So the next question that I have is, if someone calculates their CRS score and finds it competitive, do they still need to meet the minimum requirements of entering the pool, such as minimum experience required or minimum language benchmark, etc.?
Yeah, that is also a good question because there are a lot of people who remain confused about entering the pool and ranking points. When you are entering the express entry pool, you are required to meet the minimum requirements. And you need to score 67 points, right? So a lot of people skip that part. They look at their ranking points and they say, wow, I've got so many ranking points, so I should be creating my express entry profile. And when they try to make the express entry profile, the profile becomes ineligible and they can't move forward because there are some minimum requirements that are needed to be met. For example, you need to have at least 1 year of full-time, paid, and continuous work experience. So there are other factors: age, educational qualification, language skills, relatives. And when you add those points, you might see your CRS score, of course, booming. But when you try to enter the pool, if you don't have 1 year experience, or if you have gaps in your experience, you have lots of experience, but somehow it doesn't add up to 1 year full-time continuous, you would still not be able to enter the pool. That's experience part. The second part is that you are not meeting the minimum language benchmark. So if you don't have at least 6 bands across the board, reading, writing, listening, and speaking components in IELTS general track, you will not be able to enter the express entry pool. And that's where also people get confused, because sometimes their score is low in one of the components or 2 of the components. They have 9 out of 9 bands in listening and reading components, because those are multiple choice questions components, and people can get 9 out of 9. But say in speaking, they somehow scores 5.5. And writing is also 7.5, whatever. For some reason, they couldn't score good in one of the components. If that is the case, you will score, you might be able to score 67 points even, but you won't be able to enter the pool because you did not meet one of the requirements, which is at least 6 across the board. So, you need to look at the minimum requirements as well. You need to ensure that you have 67 points. The points distribution of 67 is different from this ranking CRS points. And if you have those things in order, you can enter the express entry pool. But when you're in the pool, you are subjected to the comprehensive ranking system score, CRS. And that is a different story altogether, right? So I hope this has answered your present question.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, so if you don't have any further questions, I'm actually being told that Hassan has also received some questions that he might be interested in asking. Let's bring him in. Yes, Hassan, how can I answer your questions that you have been receiving from Lahore clients?
Yes, just adding up to the 67 points thing that you mentioned.
Sure.
I wanted to ask, why is it important to meet the 67 points threshold, and how is it different from the CRS score?
Yeah, so as I partially answered the question, it is important to meet the 67 points because that is the threshold to enter the express entry pool. If you don't have that threshold, if you have 66 points, for example, 1 point less than the 67 pass rank to enter the pool, you will not be able to be in picture. You will not be able to create your profile. And that is why it becomes very, very important. How is it different from the ranking? I compare it with the notion of appearing in a university test, maybe admission test. Once you pass the admission test, that's not a guarantee that you're going to get your degree, right? But you have to pass it. But once you have passed it, and you've passed it with flying colors, you are in the university, and then you flung your course. So you can't refer back to what you scored when you were entering the university. It was required. You were required to pass that, and you did. Same is the case here. You have 67 points. You have entered the pool. Now, when you are in the pool, you are now in the university. You are now subjected to a different ranking system, which is called comprehensive ranking system. And the system has been designed in such a way that it very efficiently evaluates your ability to establish yourself successfully in Canada. So there are a combination of the same factors that are taken into account when you're entering the pool, although when you're entering the pool, it's taken into account in a linear fashion: age, education, work experience, language skills, relatives information, and everything. But when you're in the pool, they look at your profile in a 360-degree manner. And that is why if you're competing with a PhD, while entering the pool, your score might be lower because you may have a 4 years bachelor's degree and a PhD qualification has more points. But when you enter the pool, you see that if a PhD degree holder is of 40 years of age, and if a 4 years bachelor's degree holder is younger, is 29, that person has better prospects in terms of securing more points. And of course, Canada is focusing on younger applicants anyways. So it is important from that point of view that we need to, and that is why it is different from CRS. So if you have 100 points while entering the pool, we would be more interested in finding out how much are you scoring in terms of CRS, right? Okay, so if you have any further question, otherwise we're going to move to Khwaja Numan, who's desperately waiting for us to discuss the mandate letter.
Yes, just another little question.
Sure.
Can a candidate claim points in more than one occupation?
Okay, yeah, so very, very important, because there are a lot of people under the skilled worker category that have experience in more than one occupations. Their career change, they switch their jobs, and when they're applying for immigration, they sometimes feel that they can claim points in one occupation only, especially the last one in which they're currently working. But that's not the case. Any occupation that you've held in the past 10 years can be taken into account, and you can be assigned points under those occupations, provided that they fall under National Occupation Classification O, which are the management occupations, NOC A, which are the occupation that require you to hold a degree at least, and NOC B that require you to hold at least a college diploma. So if your experience falls under NOC O, A, and B, and they are in different occupations in the preceding 10 years, you can still claim points under all the occupations as long as you have at least 1 year of full-time paid continuous experience in each of those occupations. And it also sometimes, I might add into it, that it is also sometimes confusing for people whether they are allowed to nominate the previous experience they've held as their primary occupation. They think that maybe the current occupation could only be nominated as the primary occupation, or they sometimes think that you can claim points in only the primary occupation. You might have 1 year experience in primary occupation, but you might have 5-year experience in any other occupation. That doesn't mean that you have 1 year experience. That means you have 6 years experience, although you have nominated the one that has only 1 year experience. The reason why people might be interested in nominating a occupation as primary occupation, even though they have less experience in it, is because they do their research and find out that that particular occupation has good prospects in one of the provinces in Canada. So they improve their chances of being selected by one of the provinces. But if you talk about the mainstream federal skilled worker program, there is no occupation list. So you can feel free to choose any occupation that corresponds to your experience. But you have to be intelligent here, smart here. You have to select the correct occupation that improves your chances of selection. Okay, so I hope that I've been able to answer all your questions for today, Hassan.
Yes, that's about it. Thank you.
Perfect. Let's bring in Noman Khwaja, our Director, Asia Region, joining us today from Karachi. And he's a regular. Basically, everyone knows him. He has been into the immigration industry for the last 14 years now, and still going young and energetic. So let's discuss, Noman Sahab, what are we discussing today in terms of the mandate letter that was issued to the Minister of Immigration by the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and what prospects are we looking for? Yeah. So let me just unmute you, Noman Sahab. In fact, you need to do that. Yes.
Okay. There is a mandate letter, supplementary mandate letter being issued yesterday on 15th of January, 2021. And we have noticed a few good news for the newcomers, where Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, has announced or issued a letter to the Minister of IRCC. And actually, they have listed some key priorities where they have mentioned they will be welcoming more newcomers, and naturally they're going to also expedite things, expedite the processing of the family reunifications as well. They will continue to implement the measures to provide permanent residence pathways to those who have provided healthcare in long term. So it's a good news, perhaps, for the people, specifically from the professions like medical professions, specifically considering this COVID and pandemic situation these days. So it's a welcoming note in that terms that they are going to welcome more newcomers. Especially the spousal sponsorship applications will be expected to be expedited. There will be more family sponsorship applications quota will be there. So it's a big year 2021 ahead in terms of immigration coming up. Especially, they are also looking for the opportunities. They're going to work out for the pathways for the people who are working on a temp as a working who are actually a foreign workers temporarily working in Canada. They are also looking for the opportunities for those people as well. So it's all in all, they are looking into an opportunity kind of thing in terms of immigrating people. They want people to stay in Canada. They want people to contribute economically in Canada. They are welcoming people in a bigger number in Canada in the upcoming year 2021. So yes, what I believe is looking into this all mandate letter, we are expecting a lot from this 2021, and specifically in the occupations like medical and these family reunification applications, such as spousal sponsorships, such as parental sponsorships. So they are looking into that, and I want your opinion into this as well, because when we talk about a temporary foreign worker, when we talk about family reunification, when we talk about new pathways coming into place, so what we are looking at, because there is a quota being announced, like 4 lakh immigrants up in the upcoming year 2021. So how you believe how they're going to disseminate it into the provinces, how they're going to disseminate it into the family reunification.
Sure.
So obviously there's a bigger number, and obviously there's economic immigrants, such as skilled workers,
Sure.
such as the professionals, such as the medical professions, such as the other engineers. Everyone is counting on the hope in the upcoming year 2021 and desperately waiting to get apply into the provincial programs. So I want you to share a little bit, explain about us on this matter.
Yeah, so my take on the mandate was, of course, it's very positive that the minister is being asked to continue his efforts to welcome people, but they are, of course, at the same time also taking care that the safety and health of Canadians are also observed. So, of course, safety is the primary concern at the moment. But the good thing, the good take from the mandate is perhaps, in the introduction of the municipal nominee program that will allow local communities and Chamber of Commerce and labor councils, local labor councils, to directly sponsor permanent immigration. And they are considering that they would allow 5,000 new spaces dedicated to this program. So this is happening for the first time in the history of Canadian immigration, that not only the provinces, but also the local communities and cities and Chamber of Commerces even are being asked to participate in immigration matters, which is simply good, because the local municipalities and Chamber of Commerces and local labor councils are in a better position to identify the kind of immigrants they need in their communities. They are also strengthening the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, and they will be, of course, creating 5,000 new spaces in it. That program is a little bit difficult in the sense that you need a job offer from an employer based in that region, but that is an option that is available as well. There are so many other steps that are being taken, which we might be able to cover in the next session. But all in all, it seems to be a very good start of the immigration year. And as I said earlier, that expanding the pilot programming to welcome skilled refugees through economic immigration stream is a good news for people who are here as refugee claimants, and they have taken part in health efforts, and they were very dedicated. So in recognition of their contribution toward the fight against COVID-19, the minister went out of the way, and the prime minister went taken up an innovative approach and recognized the efforts of these refugees. So this is how it is, and you have pretty much covered everything in terms of the new mandate letter. They would, of course, continue to implement measures that would create pathways to permanent residencies to people who are already here in Canada. So that is a good thing, because they don't have to, and this will continue the supply of prospective immigrants, especially people who are already here. They are already trained, they are exposed to the Canadian working environment. International students, for example, last week we had the announcement that international students who pass and get a degree, they have the option of applying for a postgraduate work permit. And once they complete their 1-year experience under that work permit, they can apply for permanent residency. But sometimes people fail to get the job because, of course, in especially recent times when jobs are not so much available, they fail to complete their 1-year experience, or they simply are unable to find jobs in a category that is acceptable, like NOCB and A or O. So at the end of the day, their postgraduate work permit expire, and they have to leave Canada if they don't find a job or a LMIA backed up job offer. So they have to leave. Now the minister has come up with the new open work permit for international students. So they can, if their work permit has expired or is about to expire, they can apply for that open work permit so as to allow them to stay in Canada, look for a job, and complete their 1-year work experience so that they can apply for permanent residence in Canada. So
yeah, also they're actually continuing working with the Canada provinces and territories to provide settlement support services to the newcomers, such as French language training or something. So this is also one of the good move they mentioned in the mandate letter they issued.
Yes, exactly.
And they've been continually doing it for the last
settlement services. They are very good at settlement services. Canada, of course, recognizes that immigrants need to be supported when they arrive here. Okay, so let's take some questions. Let me acknowledge people who are joining us today from LinkedIn, from Facebook, and from YouTube. We are live on all forums. Furkan Ali is asking, can he get immigration? Of course, you can. If you're qualifying, Furkan, get in touch with us and we'll discuss your prospects. We have Ali Raza, again, joining us from Facebook. We have our regular Sunil Alvin as well from Facebook. We have Shazad Sarwar. Hello, how are you? And Ali Raza, hello. How are you there? Yeah, we are doing fine. We are, of course, struggling with some cold, but it's all okay. Perfect. Iftakhar is also joining us. Let's take some questions with the introduction of people who are with us. Okay, Ismail Azam saying, nice discussion. From oil field, Permian Basin, Texas. That's an interesting place, Texas. You don't have any weather problems there, right, Texas? You have weather like Dubai, I guess. Imran is joining us. And Mr. Sahotra is with us again. I mean, you are always there, Sahotra. I hope that we welcome you in Canada soon. Okay, so let's take some questions now. Sunil is saying that he has a bachelor's degree in nursing, and he has 10 years experience. His IELTS score is 6.5, and should apply for immigration or skill working. Okay. So maybe you're asking, should you apply for a job or immigration? So if you have questions about jobs, so I can't assist you. We don't help in jobs, but we do assist in immigration, and you can consider that option. Provide us more information by way of completing our assessment form. We need to see what is the breakup of your IELTS score, and where do you stand in terms of nursing, and if there are any opportunities for you in various provinces. We understand Alberta, Nova Scotia, and many other provinces are considering nurses, including the new Newfoundland program, although that program has only 250 to 350 slots available per year, but still these are there, and we can explore those options for you. Mohammed Khurram is from LinkedIn and asking, he has already finished IELTS with 6 bands. Experience is more than 15 years, age 40. Masters of Engineering from NAD and Mechanical Technology, and he's married. So yeah, Khurram, it appears to be a good profile, but yes, I think you are, losing some points in the age factor. In fact, a lot of points in the age factor. And with 6 bands, maybe it becomes difficult for you to reach to the pass mark or the competitive ranking score. Then you have to depend on the PNP programs. We need to see whether it will be worthwhile even for PNP for you to proceed further. So for that, we have our website, www.amirsmile.com. You can complete our assessment form to allow us to see whether you would stand a chance or not. Ahmad Al-Baiti Al-Hashmi is asking, he's 52 years old, and are there any chances? So Al-Baiti, we had perhaps a discussion with you in past. You may be able to migrate to Canada as a businessman if you have senior management experience and if you have the required net worth. Feel free to get in touch with us. We have a consultation link available on our website. You can book a slot that with the available times as per your convenience, and we'll discuss about those options. But perhaps we do have your details, so it will be easier for us to make an assessment. Adnan Alam is saying that he is an MBBS doctor with 9 years of work experience. What are the chances for Canadian immigration? So seems to be a good case, Dr. Adnan. You have 9 years experience. I'm assuming that you are in your early 30s, and you have a professional degree as well. Canada doesn't require you to pass medical registration or licensing. So you can immigrate to Canada as a doctor, but of course you will be required to appear in exams and licensing before you could be allowed to work as a doctor here. So you need to perhaps do that research, but you don't have to worry about it as long as immigration is concerned, right? So it seems to be a good case. Okay, Imran is saying, with 5 family members, how much funds needed for any province? It's a good question. Let me ask Naman Saab to assist us with that.
Yeah, with 5 family members, approximately 30,000 Canadian dollar would be needed to apply for a settlement. But yes, of course, we need to see the profile first. Funds is the secondary part. First, look into the eligibility criteria. If you're qualifying, then obviously we can talk about those.
That's correct. And funds, of course, funds as under Section 30 of Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. If you don't have the required funds to bring to Canada, you can get a refusal based on financial grounds. So it is important for you to check whether you'd be able to meet the funding requirement. But the good thing is that you don't require the funds at the start of the process when you're dealing with the province. You only provide it once you apply for permanent residence application at the federal level. So province might not be interested in finding out how much money do you have, but the federal government, of course, would be interested in finding out, and they would require you to submit a bank statement for the last 6 months, 3 to 6 months, to ensure that you have the money and these funds are unencumbered from any debts. That means that you have not loaned it from someone. It is your own money, and you would be able to carry it to Canada. Okay, Frishta Hassani is saying she needs a Group 5 sponsorship for a family of 6. Yes, get in touch with us, and we'll be able to help you with that. We'll be able to refer you to the correct people who could assist you in the refugee claim process and a group of 5 sponsorship. Banish Mohsen is saying, do you have an office in Lahore? Okay, Banish, we deal directly from Toronto. Our team visits Lahore frequently. And I mean, having an office actually has become irrelevant these days, because for the safety of our clients and for the safety of our staff, we are encouraging people to meet online with us. So a lot of people are agreeing to it, because of course we take care of each other and go through this time. So if you have any questions, if you require any help, get in touch with us directly in Toronto, and you have the contact details, and we'll be happy to assist you with that. Okay, so let's take another question. Muhammad Imran Afzal is asking, I need Saskatchewan or any other province. He's interested in Manitoba, 18 years of IT education, 15 years experience, 43 years of age. So Afzal, we have to look at your points, of course. We need to look at the points in these provinces as well. Manitoba, I can give you an idea that you might not qualify unless you have a close connection with that province in the form of a friend or relative or a job offer. So we'll have to see. But Saskatchewan, yes, there could be eligibility and under the express and their own express entry program, or the occupation in demand program, right? The streams they have. So we can look into it and discuss with you in detail. Just provide us your details by way of our assessment form on our website, and we'll be happy to assist you in 2 business days. Ghulam Hanif is saying that he is a medical laboratory technologist currently working in Saudi Arabia, age 39, working experience is 16 years, 10 years in Saudi Arabia. Any chance for working visa? Yeah, so basically we don't assist people in jobs, and Ghulam Hanif, you might be interested in speaking to not anyone locally, but someone who is based in Canada and is a licensed recruiter, right? And they don't charge you any money for that. You're not supposed to pay any money for your job assistance. It is the law. So make sure but if you're interested in immigration, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll be able to apply. Okay, so let's bring in a big question covering the whole screen. Atif is saying the wife is a sewing machinist and also dress designer, Eastern, Western as well. Yeah, so ladies here with us today might be interested in speaking to you. She is a graduate from Pakistan, has a lot of courses and training, and she's a member, executive member of Islamabad Women's Chamber of Commerce, and they have migrated to UK. Can she come to Canada? So I'm assuming, of course, you're finding Canada to be a more suitable place to be, right? And more rightly so. Any professional category. So you can get in touch with us, Amin. We'll see whether your wife qualifies. I'm assuming she has a 4 years bachelor's degree. If not, then maybe it might become a little bit of concern, because you get lesser points in the education factor. But let's see. Marcella saying, if my application already in the pool since should I reapply? Okay, so if you created your profile in October 2020, the profile is, I'm assuming it is still valid, unless something happens, like your IELTS expires or whatever. So if that happens, your profile becomes obsolete. But if not, if everything is in order, then your profile is valid until October 2021. So you don't have to recreate your profile. Sham Bukhari saying he has 450 score approximately. So 450 people might have to wait a little bit. And as we discussed, Guli had provided us the details about the distribution. And I'll show you the screen right now here once again. So we have around 11,951 candidates, 8.2% of the total count. And these people are waiting, but we are hoping that people with 450 points might be able to get an ITA somewhere around April or maybe later. But it would not perhaps happen right away, because we can see that there are other people who have more than 470 points. And they are, of course, you can see the slide here again, that we have 1,000 people who have 471 to 480. We have 10,000 people from 461 to 470. So it makes around 11,000 people that are under that two categories. So if we are looking at 5,000 draw, a draw which invites 5,000 people at least, we're looking at least 2 or 3 draws happening in between. And because the draws happen every 2 weeks, usually we're looking at least a couple months before we could safely assume that the 450 ranking points holders might be considered in the upcoming draws. Do you want to add something, Naman sir, about it? My prediction?
Yeah, correct. In that perspective, when we talk about the 24,000 inventory, and that inventory is actually as on 4th of January 2021. And naturally, there are few draws being happened and almost 5,000 inventory being ended up from there as well. So that means technically we have 20,000 inventory into the pool having a profile ranking of 451 above. So this is something, and if he continues, as Guli said, if he continues to if these draws continues to be happen, so most likely somewhere in March and April, we are expecting a drop, and that drop will lead to success with the people like Hasham Bukhari and other people in 460s.
Yeah, good point right there. And we have a few more questions before we wrap it up because we are a bit of short on time today. We have Mr. Azad joining us today. Just a reminder that he is a banking professional and a professor in Canada, and he would be guiding you as to how can you pursue your banking career in Canada and how can you get those very suitable courses, even online, that can help you in securing your job in Canada in banking industry. So stay tuned in to join Azad's presentation. Will be joining us shortly. Engineer Muhammad Khan is asking, he's an electrical engineer. Is he eligible for immigration? So information is very limited. You have only told us that you are an engineer, but we'll need more information about your age, your work experience, number of years of experience, your language skills, and all these factors are needed to be known before we could make an assessment. So complete our assessment form. I'll recommend that, and we'll get back to you on that. Lots of engineers joining us today from LinkedIn.
Because engineers are in demand, that's why.
Engineers are always in demand. Okay. So Arib is asking, if someone entered Canada via PNP program, then does it mean you can only work in that province for a specific time or can move anywhere in Canada? My recommendation would be, Arib, that if you get your nomination from a province, you gotta stay there. Although there are no restrictions, you can move around, but consider the province, because you indicated that you are very interested in settling down in that province. So give that province a chance and try to secure a job there. If at all you don't succeed and you exhaust all your efforts, then maybe you can think about moving. But I will never recommend you to not consider going there and settling down. Give it a try, and you would want to stay where the job is. If you have a good job, even in Yukon, other provinces that people usually don't think about going, if you have a good job right there, you might want to go there, right? So yeah, think about that. Muhammad Imran Afzal is asking how to get 600 more points in Alberta. Please guide with full details. So for Alberta, you don't have to apply to the province. The province selects people directly from the pool. All you need to do is to create your Express Entry profile, and voila, you are in demand. You are available for selection by Alberta or Ontario, even other provinces that follow the same strategy to select people. Do we need to select, Faizan Alibat is asking, do we need to select only the province in Express Entry profile, which we are targeting for PNP, or we can still get the PNP if we have selected all provinces in Express profile? Yeah, I would recommend that you select all the provinces, but you should also have the intentions of being flexible and going to those provinces as well. So you just don't select province just for the sake of getting permanent residency. You should be serious about moving to those provinces as well. Okay. So there are a few more questions that we're going to take before we start our next half of our presentation. I'm going to wrap that up very quickly, but if we are unable to answer all your questions, we promise we're going to get back to you offline. And then, of course, we are always available every Saturday to answer your questions, so we can see you. And of course, you are able to join us by our formal consultations as well. You can call us, you can book a consultation online. Nasreen is asking, what is the scope of software engineers? Well, it goes without saying that if Canada is selecting anyone, any profession, more frequently, those are software engineers or IT professionals. You are in high demand. Scope is very good. IT people are, of course, they are in demand all over the world. Canada is selecting, even provinces have their own, IT streams specifically for IT people, and software engineers are part of it. Ontario and other provinces have been very, vigilant, and they have been very excited about their tech streams, and they have selected a lot of people. So she's also adding that she has score point of 460. Yeah, you have very good prospects, Nasreen. Okay, let's take last 3 questions before we move on to our next session. Kutsia from Facebook is asking, how much chance does she have to get PR in any PNP? So chances are subject to be evaluated, and we can only evaluate once you provide us more information about your profile. Get in touch with our team, and we'll be able to discuss with you your chances based on the information such as your age, your educational qualification, your work experience, your language skills, and we'll be able to help you with that. Okay, Ismail Azam is saying some of his friends are geologists and reservoir engineer. Can they apply? Yeah, they can definitely apply, and they might have good prospects in oil producing provinces. But generally as well, because there is no occupation list, of course, they can apply. But I think the prospects are also good in terms of finding jobs. Can't say about the current economic restrictions we have, but in future is good, definitely. Zishan Alam is saying he's 33 ACCA and honors graduate with 9 years experience. He's unmarried. What are the chances? Targeting IELTS score of 8 overall. So I have to, of course, wish you good luck with your IELTS efforts, and I hope that you get those 8 bands. And if you do that, you might still be struggling with your CRS score because you're losing points in the age factor, and you have an honors degree, a bachelor's level degree. If you had a master's, it would have been even better. But let's see. You might be selected under the PNP or maybe under the federal program directly. Okay, so that's about it. I think we have some more questions coming in, but I don't want to keep Ezad waiting. I'll add him in, and just to remind you that the next session that we have is about Ezad, a banking professional in Canada. He's a professor as well at Conestoga College, and he would be guiding you if you are interested in pursuing your career in Canada as a banker on the financial side. And his advice would be golden for people who are interested in pursuing their banking career or want to switch the career. So you might be interested in listening to him, because he would perhaps be able to guide you as to how can you do the spade work in even coming to Canada. You could do that perhaps even before coming to Canada, like, from your home country. You're in the process of coming to Canada, you have your permanent residence visa, but you are concerned about pursuing your career in banking, or you might want to consider switching your career here in Canada. You might want to do it even before arriving here, and he'll be able to help you with that. So let me introduce Ezad to our program. Hello, Ezad. How are you doing?
Yes, thank you. Fine. Great. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. And I remember the last time we had you, you discussed about your journey to Canada. You're based out of Kitchener right now. and you were very generous to set aside your time and guide people about your journey. And you, in fact, are a professional in the real estate world as well. You assist people in finding the very most important thing that they need, accommodation, right? So very versatile professional you are, and you're a professor as well, always guiding people. So tell us about the programs you have and the guideline that might be useful for banking professionals, please.
Sure. Yes. Thank you for this opportunity. And I wish everyone good luck in their efforts to come here and be successful. I'm going to share a presentation. Let me share this screen here. Yes. So can you see my screen? Financial sector jobs in Canada?
Yeah. Let me just add it to the,
okay.
Right. So we have the screen here.
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. So I will be discussing mainly about the jobs, which are opportunities for financial sector here in Canada. Before I do that, I just want to give some advice. I immigrated 16 years ago here to Canada from Pakistan. And it has been a very interesting journey. And when you come here to Canada, you may feel, oh, I am all alone. And, you may not know many people. But I assure you that the government of Canada, and there's lots of other different programs for newcomers for support in Canada. So this is just some advice general about also if you're coming from different areas. One example, one support, there's many other support systems, but one is, for example, Access Employment. Access Employment has a lot of sector-specific programs, and one of them is for Financial Sectors Connection, which is this one here, Financial Services Connection. This is mainly for people in Toronto. They provide you full support. If you have already got banking sector experience, they will help you to actually get the licenses and everything. So this is a very useful. But if you're coming from other sectors, like Mr. Amir Ismail was talking to many people from different sectors, I just want you to be aware that there are programs where they will help you to get your licenses and get into the job market also. So that's one piece of advice I wanted to give to you, first of all. And of course, I'm here, other mentors you will find there also. So there's YMCA here, there's Access, there's lots of other government funded support. On LinkedIn, just like you have already connected with Amir Ismail, with other people in your careers, please connect with them. And now, because everything is digital, you should have a good LinkedIn profile if you're a professional coming here to Canada. Third thing is you need to be ready to study, get certified, get skills, and say skills pays the bills. So I know people I talk to, they say, oh, I worked 10 years in banking, I worked 20 years in this and that. So it's great, and you've done master's, you've done PhD, but unfortunately, you do need to get certifications here in Canada, which proves that you have the quality and the expertise, the knowledge and the experience to go sit in front of people. If you're going to be advising somebody in a bank about where to invest their money or how to improve their credit or anything, you need to get certified here. You don't know the taxation rules here. You don't know the products here, the rules and regulations. So when you come here in banking or in any other sector, you need to be ready to take some courses. And that is one very important point also I wanted to make. And I will explain to you some of the courses you need to do in the banking sector also. Find a coach, find people who are successful in your field, follow them, look at their paths, how they entered, and that will give you a good idea. So that is one thing is, of course, for salaried position, you want to work as a financial advisor in the bank. Others also do look at business ventures. You can start with under $500 for a business here. It's very easy to do business here. Many types of businesses you can easily start out. One example also in financial field also, you can start out and become an independent financial advisor, and the cost is less than $500 to do that. You do need to do the courses and everything and training, but you can be an independent also financial advisor, or you can join the bank as a salaried person. Some people on their own are earning more than in the banks also. So that is also another opportunity to look at if you're interested in that. And so you need to understand about credit and investments in the bank, and you need to understand about financial aspects before you explain that to other clients. And that is also very useful for your own self, for your own also, when you come here to Canada, hopefully you get a good job, you start earning a lot of money, you need to manage your own money also. If you don't understand how to manage your expenses, how to manage your assets, your liabilities, your credit card, your line of credit, you will soon be in trouble. It's not just only about earning income, it's also about managing your financial aspects. So this field as a financial advisor is also very useful for your own also understanding. So about the financial sectors in Canada, there we just think, oh, there's retail banks only, but there's lots of other sectors also in the financial sector here in Canada. There are the retail banks. We also have credit unions here. Credit unions have different rules and regulations for financial products, but that is another also field that you can go into. They also provide advice to clients. Then there are investment companies, there are mutual fund companies, there are securities companies that deal only with investments for individuals and investments for institutional clients also. So those are just investment companies also. Then insurance industry here is a huge, big sector. Here, everybody has insurance of many different types. Some are mandatory. You need to have life insurance. I'm sorry, you need to have auto insurance. Auto insurance is mandatory. You cannot drive a car without that. And property insurance is a good idea. And many people have also debts and other reasons they need to have life insurance also. And majority of people here have life insurance, and that is a part of a financial planning here also. Then lending companies. There are lending companies which only lend, which only are lenders, right? So they are your also a good field to think about if you only have experience in lending. Then there are the regulators. Those who are managing all the regulations, rules, and laws of financial sector. Then there are distribution firms that only meet with clients. They don't have any products. They only distribute the products to the different companies. So you can, when you come to Canada, if you want to work in financial sector, all these sectors are very important for you to think about. And just to show you, there's been a lot of growth in the banking sector here in Canada, and also in life insurance companies, as well as credit unions also. And here in Canada, we have 88 banks, but the major are 5-6 large banks, which hold 80-90% of the wealth of all the advice, financial advice of the Canadians. There are 5,800 branches of banks here. So as you can see, a lot of job opportunities are there. But now a lot of the businesses also people do through the net, also internet, and on their mobile phone, and the ABMs, the automatic banking machines, the automatic machines. You can do a lot of stuff there too. So you can see in 2019, the banks employed 280,000 Canadians. So there is a lot of opportunity to get a job there, right? And so also banks in Canada have branches outside of Canada in the US, Caribbean, and Latin American countries. Also, so there's 110,000 employed outside of Canada also for Canadian banks. And women also, it's a good, so a lot of you are coming from our Asian countries. For women, it's also a very good job. It's a respectable job. You go to the branch and you meet with clients and help them out in their financial planning. It's a very respectable job for women also. And women constitute about 56% of the workforce in Canada's 6 largest banks. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And a lot of people do their banking digitally. They do it online and mobile banking, as you can see, 76%. So you need to be, so IT people also, it's a good opportunity for you to work in the bank also, because the banks have adopted a lot of these digital techniques also. So this I know is very small to look at, but the link is here for this on the website. This is the financial services career in Canada. As you can see, there's a lot of different things, but I'm only going to now, I only have 10-15 more minutes. I just want to wrap it up, but I will give you some idea about if you want to work in retail banking, in advice, if you want to work in the bank, right? In the bank, as you can see, in the bank, you can work as a financial advisor, as a financial services rep. Small business people also, they are also working in the bank. And then there's mobile mortgage specialists, which are doing the mortgages for people who want to buy a house. So in the bank, these are the main jobs that you can get in a retail bank, right? And then, of course, there's other jobs also. As you can see, the financial services career in Canada, there's lots of other jobs you can look for institutional clients. There's middle office, back office. If you don't want to do in sales, you can do back office jobs. There's management jobs also. Insurance, like I said, is a huge, big field also. In insurance, you can become an insurance agent also. So I'm not going to go through all that now, but I want to, okay, sorry, let me do that again. So I want to just share with you that, let me stop share again, sorry, just let me share the screen again, share screen. Yes, so I wanted to show you that the courses you need to do. So good news is you really don't have to have a background in banking. Okay, so if you have a background in banking, it's good. But like I didn't work in bank outside of Canada. Okay, but I did my MBA from England, and I do have other expertise. But anyways, even if you're IT background, if you are any other field, if you have marketing background, you can still take these courses and you can start your career in the banking sector in Canada. There is no requirement for a degree in a certain field. That's not a requirement. What is required is you have to pass these courses. You have to get certifications. And so the courses lead to certifications. Those are a requirement by law to get the certifications before you can sit in front of a client and advise them, here, give me your $10,000, put it in this investment. Here, I can help you with this. Before you advise them, you have to get the certifications. And it doesn't matter. Your bachelor degree does not matter. And once you get the certifications, then the next step is to get designations. Here in Canada, these four are the main organizations which are recognized by the banks for the certifications. There's Canadian Securities Institute, CSI.ca. There's Institute of Financial Services Education, IFSI. There's CIFP, and there's FP Canada. So I'm just going to focus on one or two for now in our discussion, CSI and IFSI, mainly CSI. So CSI, again, if you go on their website, they have lots of different courses available. And if you are going to planning to become a financial advisor in the branch, as a banker, this is the route you need to follow in order to become a fully licensed person. The route for bankers, as you can see, the first step is to do Canadian securities course or investment funds in Canada. These two are equivalent for the banks, but there are two different courses. The Canadian securities course there's two parts of it, part 1 and part 2. It's more lengthy, but it's good if you do that. If you don't want to do that, this is one exam. You can do IFIC, they're equivalent for the banks. When you do that, then you can be licensed as a mutual fund representative. You can start working in the bank. Without that course, either of those courses, you are not licensed. You cannot work in the bank, regardless. You've worked 20 years outside of Canada, you have an MBA, you have blah, 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 whatever, 10 publications, doesn't matter. You have to pass these courses. So once you pass that course, then as you can see, that's not the end of it. Then they want you to do personal financial services advice and FP Planning 1. You will get a certificate in financial services advice. That is the first step. So in the branches also, there are levels. There's level 1, level 2, level 3 of financial advisors. The first step is just to do those courses. You're at level 1. You do the certificate in financial services advice, you will be at level 2. Then you do FP1, you'll be at level 3. You'll get a certificate in advanced financial advice. Then you do the next 2 courses and you will become a personal financial planner. Then you will be at a full financial advisor or financial planner role. There's lots of course, information in these courses and a lot of steps. So of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 courses you will do. Then you can get this designation as a personal financial planner. So as you can see, first step would be to do one of these, and I will give you a little bit idea about those. The reason why they want you to do all that is because this is the financial planning pyramid in Canada. When you advise clients, first of all, we advise them you must have insurance because anything can happen to you and your whole family will be affected. Your whole financial plan is in trouble. So insurance is the base of a financial plan. That's why you should have, it's good to have that also idea. You need to have a will, a power of attorney, and then you get your house. And RSP is retirement savings plan. Start saving some money for your retirement. And you should have 3 months of emergency fund. So this is your next step. Then you start investing in some fixed income securities, bonds, GICs. those the banks offer. Then you advise them for mutual funds also. They're a little more with stocks and bonds. They can go up and down. Then there's other investments also. So you cannot advise clients without knowing about the products and without the certifications. So that's why these courses are essential. What will you study? So like I said, again, doesn't matter your background. You can have any degree, any background. You can be a doctor and you can do these courses also. If you do the Canadian Securities course, you will study about the Canadian investment marketplace, the Canadian economy. What are the different types of fixed income products? How are they priced? Why did their price go up and down? What are the different types of shares, common and preferred shares? All these things you will discuss. So if you have an accounting background, this should be very easy for you. Corporations and their financial statements, the earnings statement, the profit loss account. That's exam 1. Then exam 2 is fundamental technical analysis. How do you do analysis of an investment, portfolio analysis, and then different products about mutual funds, segregated funds, hedge funds. And taxation rules here in Canada are very different from your country that you're coming from. You have to know about Canadian taxation. And how do you work with clients? What can you do? What can you not say? What can you not do with the clients? What is not allowed? That is also very important. So as you can see, this is what you will study in the Canadian Securities course, and similar is in the IFIC exam also. The exam format for this is 2 exams. Now, the good news is, or rather bad news is, unfortunately, we have the COVID issue. Paper exams are no more there. There are no more paper examinations. You don't have to go to any examination hall to take the exam. Everything is now computer-based. These examinations, you can take them also in your home country. If you go on CSI website, there are international, as you know, Prometric. They have Prometric, the Prometric computer-based exam centers. You can go to those exam centers. You can take the exam there. If you plan to come within 1 year, these exams are good for 1 year. So if you're planning to come within the next 6 months and 1 year, and you plan to work in banking sector, it's a good idea to take the CSE or the IFIC exam before you come, or you will then spend time and effort doing it here. So you can take it online also. There's online option also now, and there's Prometric also. So it is now very easy. All the study is online also. You have online books also. They can also mail you, or you can print it out. So all the materials online, all the questions are online. It's all multiple choice. For example, exam in Canadian Securities course, it's 100 questions, multiple choice. You have 2 hours to complete it. You have 3 attempts allowed to complete it. You need 60%. Most of the exams here in Canada, the licensing exams, they usually have a 60% pass mark. It's not 30, 40, 50. It usually is 60%. If you take other exams, for example, I also took the real estate exams like Amr was mentioning, 75% is the requirement for passing the real estate examinations. So here it's lucky, you're lucky it's only 60%. So 1 year is your enrollment period. So within 1 year, if you plan to come in here, enroll it and pass it, then you have 1 year to start using it. Otherwise, no, actually, sorry, 3 years is it's valid, and then you can do it. The other exam I was also mentioning to you is the life insurance examination. That is also a good idea. Here you can advise clients for getting life insurance, disability insurance. You also can advise for investments. With the life insurance, they have investment products called segregated funds. So you can also advise that. You'll study about taxation in this also. You study about the retirement planning, different fields. You study about risk management, contract law. So these are all topics that you will study if you take the life insurance examination. This is also good for investments and also insurance. As an example, the LLQP exam, this is open book exam. You have the material in front of you also. It's not that difficult. And it's open book exam. It's also online. You have to take 4 qualifying exams. As an example, it's 30 questions each. You have 1 hour, 15 minutes to do it. There's 4 modules: life insurance, accident sickness, segregated funds, and ethics. Then you are qualified to take the provincial exam. As I mentioned, these are provincial licenses. You get a provincial license. Only then can you sit in front of a client. You cannot advise any client for any investments or insurance until you have a provincial license. Then the provincial licensing exam again is 4 exams. So you have to take 8 little exams in order to get the LLQP or life insurance license. So as you can see, and again, requirement for this background, 0. You don't have to have any experience in insurance or investments. You don't have to have any bachelor's degree. You just have to prepare for the material and take it. And it's easy in that context that there's no requirement, but of course you need to be understanding about this, pass this, and demonstrate that you're able to understand these concepts, and you can advise clients and make money also, and you can do that. So like I mentioned, if you want to work in the branches as a personal financial advisor, as a banking officer, it's not very highly paying, but it's about $3,000 maybe monthly before taxes, $4,000 maybe. So like I said, there's levels in the branches also. If you just do the CSC or the IFIC, you'll be at a starting level. And then you do the next couple exams with some experience, you go to next level. So you could, financial advisor, if you're fully licensed with all the courses, you could make annually about $50,000, $60,000 annually before taxes. And so as you can see, it's not a bad, it's good, it's respectable. You wear your pant, coat, tie, you go to the office. Here still branches are open. Also, there's COVID now. There is also video conferencing. Also, you can meet clients now through video conference. That is also available now. So you don't necessarily always have to go to the branch. You can work from home also. So I also, like, I'm a financial advisor. I do it through everything through Zoom. It's all digital now. Now we have the opportunity. We can do investments and we can do insurance also, all online. So you can do that also. It's not a requirement to work in the branch also. So you can be commission based. If you do commission based, you run your own business, you do need to have the licenses, of course. And then you can also do other courses, and you can make money that way too. So this is giving you an idea about the financial planning job. So I'll just wind up in 5 minutes. I just want to tell you how to study for the courses. So you can enroll yourself, like I said, study on your own. If you have a background, you have an understanding, it may take you 4 months to do like the CSC, 3 to 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, depending on your effort. You can hire a tutor. Tutors, they cost money, but it will reduce your time probably. You can do it faster because you will understand the concepts by hiring a tutor, doing self-study. The third thing is you can enroll in a college. So those of you who want to come for study, you can enroll in a college like Centennial, Humber, Seneca, Conestoga College. It may take you 1 year. They usually have a 1-year course or a 2-year course program. It'll cost you a lot of money. It'll cost you $15,000 as an international student. You study about everything and you have to pass the courses, right? But that takes a lot of time and effort. But that is also another opportunity. You can just discuss with Amir about that if you want to come as a student. But if you come in the normal immigration, any program, you're here in Canada, you can enroll these courses, or even before you come here, and you can start working. You don't have to go to college. It's not a requirement. You can do these courses on your own also. The other way is I did the same. I joined a commission-based firm when I came to Canada. They paid for my courses. They paid for all my courses for IFIC, for LLQP, CSC, and I became as a financial advisor as a commission-based. And then later on, I joined the company in the branch in the bank. So that's the other route you can do also. You can start working as a teller in the back office also, and then later on do the courses, and then you can go to the meeting with clients also. And I already mentioned to you, Access Financial Connection is the other way. They can help you do the courses. You can network also and work part-time jobs. You can do this on the side also. If you're working a full-time job, you can study for these courses in the evening. So they make it very easy here. You see, in Canada, it's not that rigid that you have to have this. You can't. It's very easy to change your career here. It's not that difficult. You just need to pass some of the courses, and you need to prove that you are competent to be able to sit in front of clients and advise them. So it is easy. And like I mentioned, you can become a teller, customer support rep, they call it. You really don't need a license for that, but now they are asking you to get the license also. And there you can you do cash management. So like I already mentioned, you start as a personal banking officer. You must have the mutual fund license. You have to do CSC or IFIC, right? And then there are call centers also. You need to have a license there also. If you're even on the call center, somebody calls and says, I want to invest $10,000. You need to have a license to talk to them, to advise them. Or I need insurance, you have to have the license again. So if you get an interview for a job, for a bank, these things are very important. You have to show that you're good in teamwork. You're working with a team. You're good with, you like to meet people. You are working, you have some connection in the community. You are good in providing customer service. You understand all the rules and laws in the banking sector. And this is a sales job. If you're working in the bank, if you're working as a commission agent, it is a sales job. You have to meet clients on a weekly basis. You have to meet clients, meet certain goals. If you don't meet them, you will be having difficult time. Of course, if you're a commission agent, you're not going to get money if you're not commission agent. If you are in the branch, you have to meet the sales target. If you meet clients and you don't help them meet their objectives, then it will be difficult for you. So it is a sales position also. So at the end, in the summary, I just want to mention to you that don't, keep trying, don't give up. You will need to apply to a lot of jobs. You need to look at different avenues, look at all the options. Like I mentioned, if you come to Canada and you're not able to get into your field, my background, I'm a scientist actually. I did my master's in food science, my bachelor's in food science. So I did try to get into the food industry, but there were night jobs and technician level, lower level jobs. I didn't let that, keep me back. I've been, working last 16 years in different fields. Don't let your emotions overwhelm you. Sometimes when you come here, yes, it is very depressing. You're not able to work in the field you worked in, or you're not able to use your degree and knowledge that you had, or you may be successful. There may be rejection, but you need to be competent with your own, with your knowledge and experience, and get more courses. Be multidimensional. Don't just focus on one field. Try to do other courses, and it's very easy here. There are many courses you can do online and get licenses and work in field, just like one example I gave you with financial sector. Make sure you have a good reputation, good LinkedIn profile, and you will get a lot of financial rewards. There's a good salary, good income. People are working in these fields and they're making over $100,000 also. So there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of sacrifice, but be ready to look at all these options. But the main thing is, again, you have to pass the courses and look at both avenues, salaried and commission. So that was my message to all of you in about half an hour about these opportunities. So I'm going to stop sharing. So that was all I had to explain for now. But as you can go on the website, go on the CSI website, go on the other websites I mentioned to you, and see those opportunities, the courses. And I wish you all the best in your career if you're looking to come to the financial sector here in Canada. And thank you very much again for this opportunity. Yes, thank you. You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also need the directions, right?
Yes.
But I got so much excited about your presentation that I forgot to unmute myself. It was very comprehensive. It covered everything. And it's all about perseverance, right? In Canada, sky is the limit. If you work hard, if you are hardworking individuals, and you have certain of your qualities, of course, if this is the kind of job that you're looking for, you need to be good at sales, communication skills, and you're focused. You do your courses, and there is no shortcuts, of course. These courses are difficult for sure. You have to, of course, set aside time. But if you are determined, any field that you choose, and the good thing about this country and many other Western countries, that you can't go about your life without having insurance, for example. And you gave the right example. You can't put your car on road if you don't have insurance, because if you get into trouble, any accident or anything, you end up paying a lot of money. You have to have health insurance as well, which of course is provided by the government, but there are some areas which are not covered. So you covered everything, and Azad is a very competitive professional and with diversified skills. He's the guy to get in touch with if you want to make your career in financial sector. He has comprehensive knowledge, and he's a renowned teacher as well. I will tag him in the post in LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube, so you can get in touch with him directly if you have any further questions about his work. And if you need any mentorship guideline, he will be very happy to provide information. How can they reach you? You have your contact information on your LinkedIn, right, Azad?
Yes, it is on my LinkedIn. You can contact me through there. Yes, most welcome. Yes.
Perfect. And we have a comment for you before we let you go from Zia from Malta, I would say. He is saying that you have provided a very informative and thought-provoking presentation. So thank you very much, Azad, for your contribution toward our presentation. All right. So with that note, we would be saying goodbye to all of you. As we mentioned earlier, that we are available every Saturday with our immigration updates, and we invite professionals like Azad in their presentation, and they provide insights into careers in Canada. So if you'd be interested in learning more about the immigration in general, or specifically any particular career that you wish to pursue in Canada, we'll have professionals like Azad joining us. But on that note, if you would like to get in touch with our team, we have Hassan and Faria with us in Lahore, and they'll be happy to assist you in that region. We have Khwaja Naman available in Karachi to assist you. So we cover the entire region and the entire Asian region, rather. And we are based in Toronto for the last several years, so we'll be happy to assist you directly from Toronto as well. I'm very tempted to take a couple of more questions that we have before we wind it up. And there is a request coming in that if you could address those couple of questions before we bid goodbye. There is a question coming from Syra, saying that she always liked our program, but not reach marks for Canada immigration. Yeah, so no, first of all, thank you for liking our programs. We try to inform and educate our client. An informed client is always a good client because then we are on the same page. We can work together toward the same goal of achieving your immigration. And if you are unable to secure good marks or the eligibility criteria, there is nothing to worry about. You might be able to improve yourself. But if at all you are not qualifying, maybe it's not a good idea to invest your hard-earned money and time in a project that might not materialize. That's why it's very important for you to deal with people who are licensed by the government of Canada to give you honest advice. They just don't go ahead and grab your money and say that we're going to get it done, because we can only get it done if you are qualifying, if you are meeting the criteria. Our role is to improve the chances rather than give you assurance of success. You hire the services of a professional so that you navigate through the process smoothly. So Sarah, it will be a pleasure assisting you if you're qualifying, and we'll be able to help you. There's another question from Sarah. She's saying she's 35, she has CLB 9, and she's an MBA, so looks like a good profile. Get in touch with our team and we'll be able to help you. And I think the last question that I might want to add is Saqib Hussain Bazinjo saying that he's 33, he's done masters in computer arts animation with 7 years of work experience in the animation field. He's preparing for IELTS. Question is, what is the demand for the 3D animation field? NOC 5241 in Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba PNP program. So in terms of the job prospect, career prospect, you can do your research. There are outlooks of the jobs available in various regions, provinces, cities even. So you can do that. In terms of immigration, of course, we can determine your eligibility and let you know where do you stand in terms of qualification, and would it be worth it to consider immigrating. Of course it is. You are young, you have the qualification, but how should you put your best foot forward to make it happen for yourself? Okay, so I will wrap it up, and we look forward to joining you once again next Saturday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Toronto time. And we hope to see you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Khawaja Sahab, thank you very much for joining us today. Hassan, thank you for setting aside time. I understand it's late over there. And for you as well, thank you very much for joining us today again. And we look forward to arranging another session very soon with you guys. Okay?
See you
Take
next
care.
week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.